that you've had a great day. If not, in the next 1.5 hours, I'm promising you that it's going to be a Friday like no other. Well, my name is Betty Kyalo. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Of course, we have the latest news events that have been taking center stage right here in the country and beyond. But also, we have our guest anchor segment. And tonight, we are privileged to have the talented Nairobi Horns. You will be seeing them in a few minutes. And of course, we'll be having also Willis the Word Master, who's going to be joining me live from Kisumu County to tell us some of the troublesome pronunciations. Thank you so much for joining us here on Friday Briefing. As you can hear, that's already the beautiful, beautiful music that we'll be hearing tonight as we usher in the weekend. All right, take it away, Nairobi Horns. And we'll be getting more of that from Nairobi Horns. You can interact with me, #Friday Briefing, and I'll surely enough be taking a look at your responses for the various discussions that we'll be having here on the show. For now, though, we begin with the highlights.
The negotiations have been undertaken in good faith, and we are in agreement with the final position adopted today.
The process was not geared towards any party emerging as the winner, but rather as an objective endeavor towards securing a dignified vacation from office in line with the unanimous resolution of the Parliament.
Deal at last. The government and the IEBC strike an agreement for the Commissioner's exit package.
PSs going out across the country to inspect how the program is going.
And the Jubilee government's laptop project is finally on course. Plus, landmark ruling as a terror suspect is jailed for 20 years.
He will require at least 6 months of physiotherapy and at a center such as this, and that's quite expensive.
And the forgotten hero who risked his life for Christians in Mandera. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Our sign language interpreter is William Silla. Now, the embattled IEBC commissioners have finally struck a deal with the government and agreed to leave office immediately their bargains are fulfilled. In a joint statement with senior government officials, IEBC chairman Isaka San said the negotiations were undertaken in good faith and that commissioners are in agreement with the final position regarding their dignified exit from office. We will be having that story coming to you shortly, but meanwhile, the opposition maintains that there is no need for the IEBC commissioners to wait for the send-off package. Well, Court leader Raila Odinga says the commissioners should vacate office immediately. Well, he spoke in Narok, where the coalition held a public rally.
The ODM leader who was winding up his two-day tour of Narok County further claimed that there was a plot by the ruling Jubilee coalition to extend the commissioner's stay in office to put in place mechanisms to rig the next general election. Raila questioned the government's motive in the IEBC commissioner's Oster saga. He says the send-off package for the commissioners should be agreed upon while the commissioners are out of office.
Bado hatuwezi kufanya mazungumzo na hao, nikasema kitu gani inazuia nyinyi kufanya mazungumzo? Hakuna.
Watu wa IEBC na Ruto tunawaambia, Monday mkikuwa kwa hiyo ofisi tunakuja.
IEBC wakikataa kutoka kwa ofisi next week, Monday tarehe 10 wataona chapter makumi.
Raila also accused President Uhuru Kenyatta of refusing to implement the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission report due to personal interests.
Angalieni jamii ya wafugaji, nyinyi msidanganywe. Msidanganywe, mimi natoka sehemu ya nchi hii iliyo na shida nyingi kama yenu. barabara zenu ni za mbovu, kielimu, kiafya, kimiundo msingi, pande hii imebaki nyuma. Hiyo inatakikana turekebishe, na hiyo ndio ilikuwa mapendekezo ya hiyo ripoti ya Tume ya Haki na Ukweli na Maridhiano.
Tumedhulumiwa na zile dhulma za kihistoria. Mashamba yetu wameyaiba, kila kitu wameiba, mpaka to an extent wanataka kuiba mila na desturi za Kimasai. Inawezekana?
The ODM leaders were in Narok to woo the community ahead of the 2017 general elections. The ODM leaders were in Narok to woo the community ahead of the 2017 elections. From Narok, the court brigade went to Mbua Edikir for yet another rally. Raila is further expected to hold yet another rally in Kisumu on Saturday. Victor Gale, KTN News, Narok County.
All right, let's now go back to that top story. And the embattled IEBC commissioners have finally struck a deal with the government and agreed to leave office immediately their bargains are fulfilled. Now, in a joint statement with senior government officials, IEBC Chairman Isaka San said the negotiations were undertaken in good faith and that commissioners are in agreement with the final position regarding their dignified exit from office.
After 3 days of intense negotiations between the embattled IEBC and the government that saw talks hit a snag on Thursday, a consensus has been struck between the poll agency and the government.
The negotiations have been undertaken in good faith, and we are in agreement with the final position adopted today.
The process was not geared towards any party emerging as the winner, but rather as an objective endeavor towards securing a dignified vacation from office in line with the unanimous resolution of the Parliament when it discussed this matter.
The Commission says the ball is now in the government's court.
We acknowledge that the country's socio-political and economic stability is paramount over and above our individual rights and pursuits. The commissioners have given their commitment to leave office in accordance with the law and has agreed with the Joint Parliamentary Select Committee.
At the heart of the consultations was the need for the country to have seamless transition at the EIBC, as well as the necessity for the country to have the 8th August 2017 general election proceed as scheduled.
However, when asked when they'll be resigning, the commissioners were non-committal.
If you read the report of Parliament, the Joint Committee of Parliament, paragraph 119, it talks about the commissioners resigning and the new team coming in. So that's what we're going to do.
Separately in Kisii County, however, Deputy President William Ruto says there will be no vacuum at the commission.
Na baada ya tarehe 4 mpango ya kuajiri commissioners wengine wapya itaanza rasmi. Hii makelele mingi wanasema lazima IEBC watoke saa hii. That is reckless. Kwa sababu there will never be a vacuum between the commissioners that are there and the commissioners that are coming.
Both teams declined to disclose just how much will be paid to the commissioners.
You know, salaries are supposed to be personal. We normally, even in your context where you're employed, it's not supposed to be made public. So we're not really going to putting into danger our, men and women who have been working there. Yeah.
We looked at 4 broad areas. The first one was the unexpired terms of the contract for the commissioners. We took that into account. That is consistent with the Employment Act, and so we are within the law.
However, a rough calculation of how much it will cost taxpayers to send home the IEBC team shows that the chairman, who earns a monthly salary of 1,056,000, will be paid 12,672,000 for the remaining period. With a gratuity of 31% per year for the 5 years, the chairman will be paid 1,550,086 shillings. The vice chair, who earns 874,000 shillings per month, will be paid 10,488,000 for the remaining 12 months, with a gratuity of 31% per year. She will be paid an addition of 1,354,700 shillings. A commissioner earns 854,000 per month, which means for the remaining 12 months, the 7 commissioners will be paid a total of 71,736,000 shillings. Same gratuity of 31% per year, the commissioners will be paid 1,853,000 shillings, 180. This brings a total of about 107 million shillings. However, other amounts to be calculated include accumulated leave days and ex gratia payment. According to Parliament's Select Committee, which negotiated the Commission's exit, the Isaac Hassan-led team should have left office by today, 30th September. The country's socio-political and economic stability is paramount over and above our individual pursuits, is the message by the embattled IEBC commissioners as they finally strike a consensus with the government over their dignified exit from office to pave way for a new team. Duncan Hemba, KTN News.
The Big Q in association with DSTV.
All right, and Duncan's story leads us to our big question tonight. And we're asking you, should the IEBC commissioners vacate office even before they receive their send-off package? We'd like to hear your thoughts on it. We're asking you, should the IEBC commissioners vacate office even before they receive their send-off package? We'd like to hear your thoughts. You can tweet me at Betty Kyalo, use the hashtag Friday Briefing, and indeed I will be taking a look at your responses. You can also choose to text us. The number is 22155, and I'll be taking a look at your responses tonight. Now, the political scramble for votes in the coast will yet again be reignited this weekend as the Wiper Democratic Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka takes his bait to the region. Now, the party will hold what they are calling a grand strategy meeting to usher in the Tononoka Declaration. Our coast reporter Francis Ontomo looks into the prospects of the party at the coast.
Top Wiper leaders surveyed the legendary Tononoka grounds that is set to hold the national delegates and members meeting at the weekend. Organizers were in a last-minute push to set things right. The meeting is expected to stir politics in the region. And just like other top political parties that have hosted such events, Wiper is pledging to make a grand statement, what the party is calling the Tononoka Declaration. Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka will captain his charges.
Tutakuwa na kitu inaitwa the Tononoka Declaration ambayo itaangazia point 3 ama 4 ya yale misimamo ambayo tutachukua katika kila pembe za kitaifa na katika kuania uongozi wa taifa la Kenya.
Although some observers see the meeting as an attempt to muscle their coalition partners ODM in cost, the party insists that the meeting will purely provide a forum for drawing strategies and consolidate their support base in the region. Wiper managed a gubernatorial, a senatorial, and 4 member of parliament seats in the last general election.
Wale wengine wakula nyama ni shauri yao. Sisi tunamesa mate. Lakini tunalia. Mungu atuone sisi pia tukule nyama.
Lakini na sisi tunawaelezea kuwa kutafuna nyama sio kumeza nyama. Waweza kuona kuwa unakula nyama kumbe unakula Big G.
Although dubbed the Grand Convention, the Wiper Party is promising a simple, modest meeting away from the flamboyance and color that has painted rival political meetings lately.
Wiper is not celebrating. Wiper is reflecting.
Insiders say the meeting will, among other things, discuss the plot on how to fashion the Kalonzo bid for the court presidential ticket. This even as party officials say a proper presidential launch is in the offing. But to what extent can the people of coast claim stakes in the party?
Whether they will be able to marshal the same following, the same support in the next election, time will tell.
And for the first time since the two declared the interest to oust Governor Ali Hassan Joho, Senator Omar Nyali, member of Parliament Awiti Bolo, publicly said they might combine efforts and vie as running mates in the next polls. Some analysts view the two as a perfect duo to give Joho sleepless night. Although the Wiper Party says Sunday's Tononoka meeting will be a moment to reflect, the stinging debate on nominations will no doubt present the headache as the party seeks to consolidate its coastal base. Francis Ontomoa, KTN News.
Now, the government has officially kicked off the countrywide implementation of the digital literacy program. The program is projected to radically transform teaching and learning in schools. Through the Ministry of ICT, the government will deliver 1.2 million devices to all public primary schools by December.
It was the joy of young and curious pupils of Ortum Boys Primary School in West Pokot County as they received tablets and laptops under the digital literacy program that has been elusive since 2013. Despite challenges in the implementation of the project, the government on Friday, the 30th of September, kick-started the delivery of the digital learning devices countrywide, with a total of 1.2 million devices expected to be delivered to all public primary schools by December this year.
We're first finishing this leg, we evaluate, and then we will see how to expand not just the private schools, but also into the other classrooms, because we've got the other standard 2, 3, and so on, up to 8.
The program is already running in 150 primary schools across the 47 counties, which cumulatively received over 12,000 digital devices in May 2015 as part of the pilot phase. The devices include laptops for teachers and tablets for pupils, all of which are fitted with content approved by the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. Content for Class 1 and 2 is already available in 5 subjects.
And in the next 30 days, you're going to see other CSs and PSs going out across the country to inspect how the program is going.
In a bid to promote local manufacturing, 2 consortia of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology and the Moi University were awarded tenders to assemble the devices locally. However, advised by the need to fast-track the project, Kenya has ordered 1.1 million tablet computers from China as it begins the mass rollout of the project. To facilitate the use of the electric gadgets, over 22,237 schools have so far been connected to the power grid, with the Ministry of Energy in the final stages of connecting the few remaining schools. It is expected that all primary schools will have been connected to electricity before the end of next year to increase the outreach of the project even in the most remote parts of the country.
There's only about 500 schools that don't have electricity. This is an ongoing project and we intend to see it continue even after December. But for now, we want that by next year when the children come back to school, they're all going to be digital.
The project is slated to cost 28 billion shillings upon completion of the first phase, after which it will gradually be increased to all levels of learning. The digital literacy program is in line with the planned overhaul of the education sector, where books will gradually be phased out in favor of digital learning. Michelle Ngele, KTN News.
A Kenyan court has sentenced a member of the Al-Shabaab militant group to a total of 80 years in prison. Abdirazak Mukhtar was sentenced to serve 20 years in prison for the first count of giving support to commission terror activities and other 10 years for each of the other 6 counts. The sentences will run concurrently.
The 24-year-old sat pensively in court as Principal Magistrate Joyce Gandani read her ruling.
But we're heading to carry out a terrorist act. And this terrorist act could be any of the ones I've named above. And I've basically said 1, 2, 3, 4.
And when all was said and done, he was sentenced to 20 years in jail, found guilty of being a member of the outlawed Al-Shabaab terrorist group. Abdirazak Edo Mukhtar, a young businessman from Mandera County who owned a car hire business, was charged with counts of engaging in terror activities after his vehicle was allegedly found with 8 handheld grenades in Mandera town on the 31st of May 2014. Judge Joyce Gandani, while issuing her ruling, said that the prosecution proved its case beyond reasonable doubt against Mukhtar, who was arrested in June 2014 at the Masai Mara Game Reserve. The young man has spent the last 2 years in prison trying to exonerate himself from any blame. A tough task considering the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, which was acting as the prosecution in this case, presented evidence in court consisting of photographs of the Westgate attack as well as pictures of Samantha Lithwaite and Osama bin Laden that were in Mukhtar's possession. The prosecution also brought forward a video recording of Mukhtar urging youths to join in the fight with the Al-Shabaab. The former car hire operator was also charged with sending invitations using his cell phone for a radicalization meeting at the Masjid Musa Mosque on February the 2nd. In total, Abdirazak was charged with 7 counts of terrorism, having received 10-year jail terms for 6 of them, but will only be serving a maximum of 20 years since the sentences will be running concurrently. He, however, says that he will be appealing that ruling. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
Well, police are searching for a Kisumu County MCA who is alleged to have been kidnapped last night. Kisumu West Ward MCA Paul Odhiambo is alleged to have been kidnapped as he entered his home. But as the search continued, residents of Kapwonje village pounced on the home of a Kisumu County official alleging that he was behind the kidnapping. Take a look.
They began in the morning by barricading the road. But after being overpowered by police, they headed to the home of the alleged kidnapper. First, this perimeter wall. And when it went down, they set ablaze anything on sight. These 3 vehicles were not spared. Police struggled to disperse them.
Tulikuwa na Paul jana jioni saa 12:30 huko sehemu za kwetu huko juu. Tukaongea naye na wamama hapo kwa soko. Baadaye akatoka anaenda ge. Daka kidogo subuhi tunasikia Paul amepotea. Na hii jambo ni ile mambo ya 280 million ambayo ilipotea. Hatuwezi kubali MC wetu ipotee namna hiyo.
Jambo ambapo tunasema wananchi wanataka ward rep yao, CMC yao.
Several leaders, including Kisumu Senator Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, who arrived here, called on police to probe into the alleged kidnap.
I hope and I pray that nobody is in any way trying to silence Paul and other MCAs.
And I want to urge the security agencies to ensure that we can actually find what happened to Mheshimiwa manager.
The victim's wife told KTN that she last saw her husband last evening.
So kufika huko see the driver's door was opened. So kuangalia ndani there was nothing. Simu yake ndio ilikuwa hapo. Simu yake na kia gari ndio ilikuwa hapo and the door was opened.
Tension was still high in the village, even as police promised to investigate the matter. Rashid Ronald, KTN News, in the county of Kisumu.
Now, do you remember Abdi Rashid Aden? Now, this is the boy who, alongside a teacher, stood up to the Al-Shabaab militants days to Christmas in a Mandera bus attack. Now, the teacher died in January, but Abdi Rashid is still in hospital. Now, he may not have been recognized by the state, but his scars from the 4 bullet wounds are enough to earn him a badge of honor. Mashirima Kapombe visited him at the Mater Hospital here in Nairobi and now reports.
For slightly over 9 months, Abdi Rashid Aden has been a resident in different hospitals. His mother is slightly relieved at his improvement, but she does not join him for lunch. Every Thursday and Monday, she fasts.
Naomba Mungu na kijana wangu. Ndiye kijana wangu pone. Ile mtu mwenye anasaidia mimi, Mungu asaidie.
December 21st last year, Al-Shabaab militants failed in their mission to kill Christians traveling on a bus to Mandera from Nairobi. A deputy head teacher, Salah Sabdo Farah, now deceased, and a 19-year-old Form 4 student, Abdi Rashid Aden, put their lives at risk to save the targets.
Gari amesimama, watu walikuwa wamesema sisi wanataka Wakristo peke yake, Wakristo kando na Waislamu kando. Na mimi nilikuwa nimekaa kwa mahali mlango ulikuwa umesema kuna Wakristo kwa ndani wa hiyo gari, ulikuwa naongea na Kisomali. Na mimi nilikuwa nimekataa kufunga mlango, nimeongea kwa bagi, nimetoa hiyo bagi, patia watu wa Kristo, nilikuwa nimepatia hijabu kama Waislamu walikuwa wanavaa. Wamesema wacha tuone hii gari, funga hii mlango. Nimefunga ile mlango. Umeanza kurusha mimi kwanza risasi 3 na mimi nilikuwa nimeanguka kwa mlango.
Abdirashid, who comes from a poor family, was on the targeted bus that morning trying to raise school fees for himself and his 9 siblings.
Mimi nianze niuze kitu yangu maji. Nimeuza ile soda yangu kila kitu.
Abdirashid was shot 4 times. 3 bullets lodged in his abdomen were removed. But the one near his hip is the reason for his long stay in hospital.
Kulikuwa na risasi moja ilikuwa imebaki ndani, na risasi yenyewe ilikuwa imetengeneza njia ya kutoa uzaa na kutoa maji kwa muda mrefu. Kwa hivyo ilibidi turudi kwenye operation, tutoe risasi hiyo na tufunge hiyo shimo ambayo ilikuwa inatoa uzaa.
His mother comforts him. She cannot take away his pain, but deep down she is proud of her son's actions in the face of danger.
Mimi nasikia mzuri. Jana yangu vile unatetea na Kristo. Mimi nasikia mzuri. Na mimi sitaki kuona mbaya tawa. Vile msichana yangu na msichana hawa ni moja tu. Na kijana yangu na kijana yao ni moja tu.
The Sisters of Mercy, who are the trustees of the Mater Hospital in Nairobi, were touched by the boy's courage. More so after a story on KTN News revealed promises made by leaders were not honored and he was not completely healed.
Kila mtu akaguzwa sana kusema, imagine ni mtoto anapatia maisha yake anayaweka katika hali ya hatari ili aokoe watu.
Abdirashid hopes to go back home soon and sit his KCSE exam. Doctors say it may take about 5 days to be discharged once they are sure his wound is clean and free from infection.
He will still require physiotherapy because when he suffered the injury, a major nerve was damaged and that left him with a significant limp. So one of the therapies we are giving him is physiotherapy, but not the normal physiotherapy. We are doing a high level of that using special equipment to ensure that the nerve grows back. He will require at least 6 months of physiotherapy and at a center such as this, and that's quite expensive because the cost is in the region of 420,000 over a 6-month period.
But even then, treatment must go on to get him almost back to normal, an extra expense his family cannot afford. His hope now is that he will be strong enough to sit and pass his KCSE exam to afford him a place at a college or university to take a business-related course. His dream before the attack was to join the Kenya Defence Forces and at the very least protect his president and his people of Kenya from external attacks. Abdirashid displays the scars of wounds inflicted when he stood up to the enemies of his people. And although it's a painful memory, he wears those scars proudly as a badge of honor. Mashirima Kapombe, KTN News, Nairobi. For slightly over 9 months, Abdirashid Aden has been a resident.
All right, we wish Abdirashid, the unsung hero, long life. All right, welcome back to Friday Briefing. I'm here with Nairobi Horns. Hi, guys.
Hello, hi.
I love your instruments. They're really beautiful.
Thanks.
Say thank you. Goodness.
Thank you. Guys, where are your manners?
All right, so how long do you come up with that? First of all, the song is called Kipepeo.
Kipepeo?
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, you can't be singing such a song, performing, and then we're seated. It feels so, you should be somewhere, on the beachfront, you know?
Yeah.
So tell me, how long does it take for you to come up with such a beautiful piece?
Actually,
Rabbi?
The creative process?
Everything. I want to know everything. Tell me everything.
You see, being a musician, you tend to want to write, and then you're picking up some stuff from other music.
Yeah.
So you just have to start writing this stuff, putting it down, saying, yeah, you write music. Yeah.
Lovely.
For people to get to have a piece of you, to have a piece of your idea.
I know, and I get that, but I want to know, so how do you start?
Step by step.
Like, how do you start?
Actually,
do you, do something with your saxophone, and then he does something with the trombone?
Yeah.
What happens? There's no process.
No, you see, sometimes, I can tell you how this one came about.
Uh-huh. Tell me, please.
He's the one who wrote this song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on a Sunday morning.
You even remember the time
Yes.
and the weather. It was a cold Sunday morning.
It was a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I was going home around 4 a.m.
Okay. 4 a.m.?
Yes.
You go home at 4 a.m.? That's not
the point.
Okay. But that's interesting though.
Nocturnal.
4 a.m.
Nocturnal. We work at night. We actually work at night.
Maybe you're a doctor, you know, for all we know.
I mean,
yeah.
so it just came to me like close to home, like the whole melody just comes. Sometimes it takes a long time to write a song.
Yeah.
Right.
It never happens.
Okay.
Like I have written music in the middle of the night. I wake up and there's a melody in my head.
Something.
Put it down.
There's a song I wrote called Mola.
Yeah.
And I just put it down. I sing it on my recorder.
So how do you do it? Like
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, just the same way you have.
I'm not doing bad.
Yeah, you're fine. You're actually on key.
Niko kidogo.
Niko tu sawa.
Niko tu sawa.
No, you just hear the whole thing. For me, it just comes to me like all of it.
Okay.
At once.
That's interesting. But the other thing is Nairobi Horns. That name, where did it come from? I mean, it could have been anything else, but Horns.
Yeah, I mean,
Horns.
It is relevant. We're trying to be relevant with our name,
So,
and then.
So basically, Nairobi Horns is a horn section.
Yeah.
So horn section means guys who play all these shiny things.
Okay.
We're like the coolest people in every band.
Oh please, come on now. Can I be the one to tell you if you're cool or not?
Yeah. But you really that
McKinley, kindly, please.
You know, but basically when the whole concept for this particular project came on when I was working on a TV show called Coke Studio.
Okay.
Season 1 and 2.
All right.
We had like a horn section of different guys. So we will just basically do the show, like play. And then I was like,
this could actually be
we don't really have a horn section, like a very good
in Nairobi. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not very easy to find like very good horn players who play as a unit. Because now the science behind all this basically is like thinking the same, breathing at the same time.
What do you mean breathing at the same time? That's so technical.
No, like if I do like.
So how does Victor know?
I can do this.
I play the same thing.
This is so cool.
Let's do the whole line.
Yeah.
The middle bit. 1, 2. So basically, all the notes have like the same length, like same sort of uniformity. So it's not very easy.
Actually, what happens is that you even get the same heartbeat.
Oh,
when you're playing together.
Now you're pushing it.
That's a fact.
These guys
It's
are
actually a fact.
pushing it now.
That when you're playing, let's say in an orchestra, you get the same rhythm going on. So the rhythm even checks into your heartbeat and your pulse just...
you have to like really feel each other.
This is scientific.
Yeah. It's not very easy. It's like, think of like 3 of you saying the same thing like the same way.
3 of me saying the same thing in
like
the same
a choir.
way.
Same phrasing, like same.
Like a choir.
Yes,
There
like
you go.
talking.
Mandugu na madada.
Tumekuja hapa. Tumekuja mbele
Yeah,
zenyu.
exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So you have another piece that you want to
We
play
have a lot
for
of
us.
pieces.
But before then, I remember the first time I met you guys was at the Safaricom Jazz
Jazz
Festival.
Festival.
So talk to me about where the places you've performed. Do you perform in restaurants? Where do you guys perform?
Yeah.
Because the other thing is that jazz is not really for, it's not too many people who appreciate jazz. It's such a selective, such a niche kind of, genre.
But
there's some truth behind that because it's an acquired taste. I didn't grow up playing jazz. They didn't grow up playing jazz.
Neither did I.
You just need to
Victor,
be around that environment.
In fact, I grew up listening to and playing classical music.
Oh,
Classical
really?
music
Yeah.
throughout,
I mean, we have like sort of classical backgrounds.
Okay.
So I just you see garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
So that kind of music, if you put it around yourself, surround yourself with that kind of music, it start oozing out.
Yeah.
In the way you play, just how you play.
All right.
You start playing those blues notes. You hit the flat third and stuff like that.
Think of it like
Now you're showing off.
Think of it like
what is that?
Think of it like this. Think of it like marination.
Like what?
Like being marinated.
Okay. Like how you marinate chicken.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Put it around.
Wait, why chicken?
Yeah.
I love chicken.
Oh.
I come from a place called Quisero, part of me. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
You're part of it?
Okay, that's not the point. Chicken. You
Yes,
marinate
like
chicken.
when you marinate chicken.
Yeah.
It takes time to like sort of the spices get in.
Soak in all the
Everything,
spices.
And then when it comes out, when you taste it,
okay,
it's just
really
right.
good.
Yes. So it's like really a process.
Now you're making me get hungry, but yeah, I get
Bring up
it.
some chicken,
It
please.
is a process. I get it. So it is a process. But then I was asking about the places where you have performed.
Okay, right now we are playing with one guy called Jacob Asio. We play on Fridays.
Okay.
We do a salsa gig at the Oval.
Okay.
You can always catch us on Wednesday playing a
But
jazz
you've been
gig.
to other concerts, like
we've been to another concert.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah.
Oh, last week I'll tell you we played at the Sevens.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we played at the
All right.
rugby.
How did people receive your kind of music?
They were very far away, but
they were far away.
I think
the
they
really
liked
big
it.
stadium, and but I think the media people were all on our case.
Yeah,
the media
yeah.
people
It's,
personalities were on our case.
Actually, Betty, to be honest, we've been very lucky with the reception.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when I sort of like put this sound together, for me the thing was like we want people to like have fun.
All right.
Because people think like jazz is like very complicated.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
But you just want something you can move to like a groove, like
yeah,
a beat.
like
you know.
the song you just played
Yes.
to Pepeo. I
So
mean, it's still in my mind.
So all our pieces, we try to make them like
okay.
very danceable, and we also try to like bring it home, you know, like make it African.
To kawaida people like
You remember
us.
last time we played you that Sauti Soul?
Yeah.
But you didn't shake.
Oh my goodness, really now? Okay, you were saying something more.
Yeah, but I'm saying like so the whole philosophy is just saying, oh, this piece is actually part of like a thing we're doing.
Okay.
Where we're calling it modern Kenyan classics.
All right.
Which, yes.
What you're trying to do is actually doing renditions of popular Kenyan music.
Kenyan songs.
Yeah, and that's a project that is will be knocking on your doors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So actually, this is ready. Like we've recorded it, and Sauti Soul were like so kind to let us record like a cover version of it.
Can I challenge you guys to a song which I think, maybe in the next coming months you should come back and perform for us?
Very true.
So, I have a thing for Juakali's music. And he's been on the show before.
Yeah. Juakali.
So, that song, Watu, Majani Aje.
Yeah,
So that's the one I'm challenging you guys to do.
Okay.
Is it doable?
It's doable.
Yeah?
We can give it a twist. It's doable. But you see, it's a rap song.
Yeah, but you're saying you're giving it life,
We'll give it up.
life to,
Rubai, do you want to
Kenyan
teach
songs
us
that
the song on set?
people love. So that's a challenge to you guys, and I'm doing it on national TV, so you cannot go back on that.
Oh,
All right. So fine. So we'll have you play.
Please, if you want to do the song, just remember the DM.
Oh, okay, no.
Oh, but
camera,
I can tell you,
please.
I can tell you the I like Juakali's stuff as well. Like you know that thing we did. Like,
Okay. Something genge, I'm sure there are many Kenyans who...
Yeah.
Oh, he's still the guy who sets up.
Fine, so you'll be performing the second song later on in the show, so you have, of course, to stay tuned to listen in. But, of course, we'll be continuing with this conversation with them later on in the show. Tweet me, tweet them.
At
you
Nairobi
guys on
Horns?
Twitter, Nairobi Horns, of course.
On Instagram,
And,
Twitter, yeah.
No, let's just first start with Twitter. You guys are not... You just want followers on Instagram. You're using
likes.
All right, fine. So for now, though...
Yeah.
I don't know if you could play the intro for us, like do news differently, like can I challenge you right now, guys?
What's the news tune?
So this is the thing. Can you see this camera 4 here?
Okay.
This one, you can see there,
Yes.
the auto cue there.
Yeah.
I can see a thing.
All of you can see. You guys are going too fast. All of you guys are squinting.
Bad eyesight.
Okay, so McKinley, can you read properly?
Yeah,
I think Victor is one of the best sides.
Okay, fine. So you'll read as they play something in the background.
He reads.
No, he reads.
Okay.
My English is terrible.
What do you say?
Okay, fine. So, I've been told, McKinley, you read. All right?
Oh.
Yes.
Who's that giving orders?
Yeah, the orderer.
Okay. Okay.
All right, fine.
Can I move closer to it?
Yes, you can. You can move.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is stress.
Okay, don't scare away our viewers. You're going too
Okay, so
strong.
you just have to read it.
Yes, you just
Okay,
have to.
fine.
Let's go, guys.
Okay, viewers.
All right. Introduce yourself first.
Which is the camera?
This is the camera, camera 4. Yeah.
Oh, hi guys. My name is McKinley from Nairobi Horns, and I'm reading your news in the next 3 seconds.
1, 2, 3.
So what was it that caused commotion at a primary school in Kitale this morning? Some people say it was exam fever. Others say it was evil spirits. Let's listen to our reporter, Robert Wanyonyi, who has the details. Then maybe you'll have to... oh God, it's so fast. You have an idea of the source of all the trouble.
It was everyone for himself as 11 pupils of Soil Conservation School within Trans Nzoia County fell unconscious as prayers went on, throwing the entire school community into a frenzy.
Before tuanze kuimba, mmoja wetu akaanguka, akashikwa anaitwa Njiru. Alipoanguka na wenye walikuwa wamemshika wasichana wenzake pia wakaanguka wote.
At the end of the commotion, the affected pupils started wriggling on the ground like snakes while foaming in their mouth. This prompted the teachers to rush them to Kitale Referral Hospital for urgent medical attention.
Angalia huyo anajisokota kama nyoka. Umeona? Anajisokota kama nyoka kabisa na kupiga nduru. Nikakimbia pale nikasema acha tuombe mtoto.
However, parents who arrived at the hospital to check on their children opposed the move to have them taken to hospital without being consulted.
Tangulini hospitali pepe katibiwa hospitali huko. Huko wameenda kuumiza watoto mashindano. Pepe hakuna siku inadungwa shindano.
Tungeomba sisi wazazi afadhali tukose sponsor, kwa sababu kama sponsor ndio wataleta mapasa kama hawa. Afadhali sisi tutumike na serikali.
Kitu kama hiki kikitokea watu watulie. Walimu ndio wachukue hatua haraka ya kusaidia watoto.
Bizarre incident has left many parents with many questions, with some threatening to take their children out of this particular school until proper security situation is guaranteed. Robert Wanyonyi, KTN News in Trans Nzoia County.
All right, so that was definitely exam fever, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, McKinley, you look like you used to have serious exam fever. Yeah? Okay, fine. So let me rate you. Well, I think I'll give you a 5.5 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10, yeah. Yeah, of course we are, but this is professional work. There's no friendship here. This is work. All right?
Can I come back next week to redeem myself?
No, you come back with the song I've asked you to come up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? Okay, fine. So we take a break. Rabbi, take us on a break.
Yeah. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to Friday Briefing. Let's now take a look at some business news making headlines. And Kenya's mobile penetration has hit 90% as mobile virtual network operators increase competition, access and convenience for the market. Now, according to a report by Communications Authority of Kenya, the last quarter of the financial year, 2015-2016, mobile subscriptions grew by 9.9% to 39.7 million. Mobile money subscribers reached 26.3, while the number of mobile money transfer agents was recorded at 158,727. The quarter period saw a total of 223.3 million mobile commerce transactions made, translating to the cost of goods and services valued at 404.1 billion shillings purchased. Total traffic originating from mobile networks increased by 22.5% during the financial year to post 41.6 billion minutes, up from 34 billion minutes posted in the previous financial year. All right, now moving on, the Executive Secretary of the Economic Commission for Africa, ECA, Carlos Lopez, has announced he is leaving the organization at the end of October. Lopez officially told ECA staff Thursday that he was stepping down from the organization he has led for the past 4 years. While speaking at a town hall meeting, Mr. Lopez, who joined the ECA as its 8th Executive Secretary in September 2012, said he was proud of what the Commission had collectively achieved during the last 4 years. In particular, the production of quality and credible products like the Economic Report on Africa, country profiles and others that are increasingly being used by member states in policy formulation, among other things. All right, now despite a slump in the price of metallic minerals worldwide, mining companies in Kenya say 2016 reawakened demand is giving hope that revenues could be well up soon enough. While speaking to KTN's Joy Doreen Bira, Base Titanium's External Affairs Manager Simon Wall said rutile is the best performing of the 3 major mineral sands produced at the Kwale mine.
Mining companies worldwide registered some of the biggest losses in mining history in 2015, stretching into 2016. BHP, Billiton, the world's largest mining firm by market value, reported a record $6.4 billion annual loss as recently as August this year, signaling a not-so-stable environment. In line with the slump, global prices for titanium products dropped by 50% in the last 2 years, with the slowdown in China's economy worsening the market. In Kenya, Kwale-based Australian mining company Base Titanium says that it has had to review markets for ilmenite, a titanium mineral sand variant, as its prices globally fell in line with mineral commodity prices.
We produced last year 440,000 tonnes of ilmenite. Okay, this is a lower value titanium oxide product and therefore has a lower market value. Okay, but because we produce so much, it obviously makes up a significant part of our revenue. Rutile has a much higher titanium oxide level and obviously therefore is a higher value product and sells for a lot more. Last year we produced about 85,000 tonnes of rutile. And then zircon, our third product, we produced about 35,000 tonnes of this. So you can see from 440,000 tonnes, 85,000 tonnes, 35,000 tonnes across the board. That said, the rutile makes up close to 50% of our revenue. Okay, so it's a very important component of our mineral assemblage. But on the whole, it was a positive year for Base Titanium, operating in what has been a very difficult commodities market environment over the last 12 months.
But despite this global commodity price dip, the mineral sand mining company says numbers are starting to look up as they look to new markets to reawaken demand.
We're certainly seeing a rebound or a bottoming of the market in the ilmenite with regards to ilmenite, which is fantastic for us and for the industry. Rutile and zircon are still stable, not really going up or down at the moment. We expect to see sort of market sort of demand returning over the next couple of years and hope to see prices increase as well. But to be honest, a lot depends on what happens as far as international economy growth and all that sort of stuff is concerned.
Some of the metallic minerals produced in Kenya include titanium, gold, and iron ore. Base Titanium produces rutile, ilmenite, and zircon, some of the most sought-after mineral sands worldwide. Joy Doreen Bira, KTN News.
You travel a lot.
All right, so that's the business news. Coming up shortly is Mind Your Language with Willis, the Word Master.
The Rift Valley is known for its agricultural potential, economic viability and tourist attractions. From Nakuru and the rest of the Central Rift to the South Rift, I am Victor Ogale and this is KTN News.
All right, let's now cross over live and join up Willis, the Word Master, who's, of course, joining us from Kisumu County. Hi, Willis. How are you doing? How has your week been?
Fine, thanks, Betty. The week has been good and, things are running on smoothly.
All right.
How about you?
Well, things are great here, and thanks for asking. Thanks. Okay, Willis. I mean, every time you talk, Willis, I learn something,
Betty, when you say, when you say thanks for asking,
yeah.
In most cases, when people, communicate in English, and somebody asks you, how are you? And you say, fine, thanks.
Yes.
Fine. That thanks is in short, but in full you'd be like saying, fine, thank you for asking.
Thank you for asking. So it's not thank you, but it's thank you. Yes. All right.
No, thank you is American. You can use it if you choose or if you are inclined to that.
All right. But the correct one is thanks. Yes. Okay, Willis. Well, so we want to start off with word on the street. How about we listen to the word that we gave Kenyans this week, Willis?
Misdemeanor. 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 Misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor.
So, I think most of the Kenyans there got it right, but I will not be surprised to hear a different pronunciation from you, Willis. So, talk to us about that word and surprise us if you want to.
Betty, my smile carries a good message. That is, many people have gotten it right.
Okay.
They have got it right. You say misdemeanor. Demeanor, not demeanor, demeanor, misdemeanor. So we should be remembering about that. But that near reminds me about one Talia Mwangi, who also asked me why people talk of mischievous and grievous, which in fact are not there in the English vocabulary. We say grievous, and mischievous, not mischievous, not grievous. We should avoid that. So Talia Mwangi, I think that this is an opportunity for her also to learn about mischievous and grievous.
Well, Willis, I remember that word, and I was one of the casualties of saying mischievous. You know, you mischievous, a mischievous boy, but of course it's mischievous. Mischievous.
But it happens. It happens.
Yes.
Nobody can be perfect.
Okay.
So mischievous, not mischievous.
All right, Willis.
Grievous, not grievous.
Okay. Got it. Grievous.
Yes.
Grievous harm. Okay, Willis, let's move on to the next word, and I'll spell it out this time. P-A-U-S-E. We know it as pause, but you hear, pause. How do we say that, Willis? What's the correct way to say that word?
What is important in that word, Betty, is the digraph A and U representing the long vowel sound O, po. Then we have that letter S taking what we call the voiced sound Z. You don't say S. The unvoiced or voiceless sound S should not be used. You say pause. Pause, not pause, not pause.
Okay, Willis, got it. Let's move on to this other word, and it's a device that we use, and I don't know how to even pronounce it. Guillotine, guillotine. How do we go about that one? Let me just stop there, Willis. You tell us.
Betty, letter U is silent in that word. Letter U is not pronounced, just like in the word guilt. But you say guillotine.
Okay.
Guillotine. To be sent to the guillotine. Not guillotine, not guillotine.
Okay.
Guillotine.
Okay, Willis, got it. Guillotine, it's actually a surprise because most of us try to pronounce the U. So we end up saying guillotine, but, so it's actually silent.
Yes, no.
All right,
yes.
Willis. Moving on to this other word. Misogynist, is that the correct pronunciation for that word?
Yes, we say misogynist.
Okay.
Misogynist.
All right.
Don't say misogynist or misogynist. Misogynist.
All right. Okay, Willis. There's also this word that I've seen quite a number of people asking me on my Twitter. Camouflage, camouflage. How do we go about that one, Willis?
You say camouflage. Flage, not fledge. Camouflage. Just like in the word casual or mirage, not mirage. Camouflage, not camouflage.
Okay, camouflage. Okay, got it, Willis.
Yes.
I actually
that is a very tricky sound in English language.
Okay. I actually used to say camouflage, so I was also wrong. So it's good to know that it's camouflage, right?
Yes.
All right, Willis. Moving on to this other word. Do we say leverage, leverage? How do we go about that one?
That word has two acceptable pronunciations. We talk of alternative pronunciations.
Right.
You can say leverage, leverage, or you can say lever, or le, leverage or leverage. But Betty, we don't say beverage. We say beverage. Beverage. Don't say be. Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's beverage and not beverage, right?
Beverage, yes.
Beverage, all right. Moving on to this other word. Do we say record? How do we go about that one, considering that it is a verb and it is also a noun?
Betty, in linguistics, we have what we call heteronyms. Those are words which have the same spelling, but they are pronounced differently with different meanings.
Right.
So in this case, as a verb, you say record, to record something.
Okay.
To record.
Record.
But as a noun, you say record.
Record. Okay.
Just like rebel, the verb rebel, and rebel, the person, he is a rebel or a rebel movement. But as a verb, rebel. So, record, that is the verb. Record, that is the noun.
All right. Okay, got it, Willis. Understood. All right, so let's move on to another feedback question, this time around from Jerry Wamalwa Jr., asking about this word, and I'll spell it out. E-T-I-Q-U-E-T-T-E. You hear etiquette, etiquette. How do we go about that one, Willis?
But we don't say etiquette, we say etiquette.
Yeah.
Etiquette.
Okay.
And we also say netiquette. We don't say netiquette. You know, when we are talking about the rules of, correct or polite behavior, among people who use the internet, we talk of netiquette, not netiquette. And the word from Jerry Sam Wamalwa Jr. is also etiquette, not etiquette.
Okay, it is something funny that when you say that word etiquette like that, so it's actually etiquette, right?
Yes, I know.
Okay,
etiquette.
Okay, Willis.
And you have something to say?
Yes, so there's Chadwick Kotut asking me on Twitter about this word schedule. Schedule. How do we say that one, Willis? Which is the correct pronunciation? Schedule or schedule? To schedule a meeting, to schedule a meeting?
Betty, that is why I always talk about what we call definite knowledge of the English phonology. Certain things could be a bit, confusing if you are not aware of which is which. So in this case, when somebody talks of schedule, that is the American pronunciation of that word.
Right.
Schedule.
Right.
I even had, one of the presidential, candidates talking of schedule. I don't know where that one came from. That was our brother, Trump. He talked of schedule, but it happens. Trump talked about schedule.
Okay.
And we say schedule for the American pronunciation. But when you come to the British English phonology, we have what we call a trigraph. I mean, that is 3 letters combining, or a combination of 3 letters representing one sound. So S, C, and H takes the sounding sh, so you say schedule. Schedule of classes. That is now the British pronunciation, yes. Schedule. Not schedule.
Okay.
Schedule.
All right. Got it.
Please, we have to be aware of some of these things so that sometimes, especially those who are in careers of serious communication, when you are using a pronunciation, people would know both the context and the acceptable pronunciation of the same or the said word.
Spoken like a true word master, Willis. All right. Moving on to your surprise word. Do you have any?
Betty. Now, Betty, before I go to surprise word, we said we should also be, sometimes giving room for some of our brothers and sisters who love Friday briefing, the much they do. So, Abdirizak Kontoma, you say rapport, not rapport. George Njabia, you say machete, not machete or machete.
Okay.
Machete. Then Helen Olaya, you say besiege, besiege, not bisieke, not bisiege, say besiege. So we have Edwin Alex, say tenya. Don't say tenua, tena, say tenya. The tenya, his tenya. Then Frederick Kowa, chauffeur, a chauffeur, not a chauffeur, not a chauffeur, chauffeur.
Chauffeur.
Edith Ngove and Mohammed Islam, I just say thank you very much for what you have. Then the surprise word, Betty, many people would pronounce it the way it is spelled. And that is why you hear of albeit. Albeit. This word has the same meaning, you know, with or as, although. So don't say albeit. We say albeit.
Albeit.
Albeit. So don't pronounce this word the way it is spelled. You say albeit.
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 Okay.
And then, Betty, yes, don't say albeit. Betty, do you remember the word B-O-S-O-M?
B-O?
S-O-M.
Yes.
As in a friend or part of the body of a lady and all that?
Yes. Bosom.
Many people say bosom.
Yeah. So what
bosom,
is it?
but we say bosom.
Oh.
Bosom. Bosom.
Okay,
These are some of the surprising words because we were not told, so we always say what we see. But it's bosom.
Bosom.
Bosom. Otherwise, they can also reach me on Twitter, Betty.
All right, Willis. Thank you so much. Interesting words today. Thank you so much for them. Albeit. That's the one.
Okay.
That's the killer for tonight,
Albeit.
Willis. Albeit. Thank you so much, Willis, for that. All right, Willis. Yes. Willis, the word master, as you know him, he can go on and on and on teaching us those difficult pronunciations that we struggle with every day, like camouflage. All right? Thank you so much, Willis, the word master. Of course, you can reach him on his Twitter handle at Willis Ocheng1, and then you can also interact with him and ask him any other questions that you might have concerning the correct pronunciation. All right, so we want to take a short break, but of course, we will be back shortly with sports news. Don't go away.